everyone. Welcome to round number 7 of the 2018B NASA RallyCross Challenge season. We're at Summit Point, here in Summit Point, West Virginia, for a race that, quite honestly, is going to be ridiculous. As it's Josh Mertz bringing you the call, as always, for the Automotive Sports Network. We have 9 cars set to take part at this beautiful racetrack here in the mountains of West Virginia. That will give us 2 heat races of 6 laps apiece. Joker lap once. The top 2 will advance. Winner gets a bonus point. LCQ looks like it'll be 5 cars. 4 laps, Joker once. Top 2 advance, the others go home. 6 cars, 10 laps. Joker lap twice. And this is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to ride on board Connor Parisi, who was fastest in practice in car number 11. Interestingly, this lap was set exiting the pit lane, but start-finish right in the braking zone of turn 1. Very tricky down into turn number 1. Joker, dirt path on the left-hand side. Turn 2 is this little right-hander. Turn 3 is the curb. Want to eat the curbs on the left and the right to get the car to rotate. Down to turn number 4. Very tricky. Brake right before it. Down from 6th to 4th, depending on car. Brake hard for turn 5. Down to 2nd gear. Hug the curb to get the car to rotate. Carousel is 6 and 7. 2nd or 3rd, depending on car. Rounding the corner. The Beetle and the Fiesta were lightning quick in these twisty bits. It's going to be interesting to see what the Subaru can do through turn 8, turn 9, back straightaway. Down the straightaway, over the crest. The pit lane will be on the right-hand side. And down into turn number 10. Very tricky corner to get right. 4th gear, hug the curb. Don't hit the sand on the exit, but run all the way out to it. And that was a lap here at Summit Point, as heat number 1 getting ready to go. As this first heat race is going to be extremely exciting, we do have the returning Brandon Lambert, the inaugural champion, back in the NASA RallyCross Challenge after a couple weeks off. Remember, he did race last season at the beginning of that season with the Honda program. He is now back in the Volkswagen program, which he has won the most of his races in the NASA RallyCross Challenge. If we look at the all-time wins list, he does have 5 wins, and I do believe 4 of them came in a Volkswagen. He will line up behind Mertz in car number 46, as car number 2 holds the red plate for the West Virginia Grand Prix. 3rd place in this heat race. 4th place, Ray Kingsbury. 5th place, Living Good. 3rd, I do believe, is newcomer Andrew Massey, but we'll have to take a look and see once the field finishes up. I stand corrected. It is Wetz. 3 Fords, a Volkswagen, and a Subaru getting ready to go for 6 laps here in West Virginia. Lambert jumps the start a little bit. I don't know how that penalty is going to be assessed, but green flag. Off the line, short run into turn 1. Mertz leads. To the inside is Wetz, out braking himself and throw him back to 5th. And I don't know what's going to happen here with Lambert on this penalty. We'll just have to take a look and see. Race control trying to sort this penalty out for him. Kingsbury 3rd, Living Good 4th, Wetz 5th. Into turn 5. Mertz was 0.4 of a second faster than the rest of the field in qualifying. He just got to the circuit, actually. He was having issues with his credentials getting into the circuit. They wouldn't let him in, so he didn't get any practice until warm-up before qualifying. And clearly he focused and somehow pulled it off. As race control is a little bit confused as to how to assess this penalty for Lambert, we'll have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. And this Joker here is extremely tricky. We'll see in this heat race why, as Kingsbury, Living Good, and Wetz, the remaining running order as we finish the first lap. Through turn 1 into the Joker goes Mertz. Onto the dirt path. Kingsbury follows him along with Wetz, exiting the Joker and back out onto the regular course. It's about 4 to 5 seconds if you get it right. And the Orange Cone Society would be very upset with us. Interestingly, the marshals run out there and reset the cones every single lap. I'm not sure exactly as to why. But Lambert leads Living Good now on the Joker rotation. Penalty is still being worked on from race control for Lambert. I don't know what exactly is going on. It was supposed to be a time penalty. that wasn't supposed to be waved, but race control yelling at each other, saying there will be a penalty assessed, but they haven't figured out what. So not really sure why the inconsistency here. But Living Good second, Mertz third, Kingsbury and Wetz rounds out the order as we complete the second lap. Let's see who will joker on the second lap of the race. Lambert does not. He's trying to push to get his gap to potentially save him on the penalty. Living Good has not jokered. So these guys realistically in the back of the field as we go looking at Mertz, Kingsbury, and Wetz. 103.4, 102.9. If we go back to Mertz, 103.1. So it's about a 5-second delta because Living Good ran a 58.1. And Lambert, because of that black flag, his laps are not being scored. At least lap times counted. He's obviously being scored. Still listening. It looks like they're sending him to the pit lane in car number 46. So not sure as to what's going on with this penalty call, but it's certainly ruining Brandon Lambert's return to the NASA RallyCross Challenge. And from high above, we'll take a look at Dylan Livingood as we take cross flags, and it looks like he is way off the track in car number 51. That will definitely be a warning for the track limits. And he comes out right in front of Kingsbury. And Kingsbury pips Livingood, who is battling with his teammate. And Lambert in car number 46 exits the pit lane after the penalty, which interestingly, because the penalty box is right in front of the pace car, I don't know why they didn't just send him there. The battle now is for the transfer spot because Kingsbury battling Livingood, who's off the track, and Wetz as well. So that's the battle for the transfer spot. Mertz was able to get a good jump and joker at the right time when he gets clear track. And it's all about clear track, especially at this venue, because you get spit out after 4 seconds slower, spit out in traffic. It can be detrimental to your race. We saw that in Lime Rock with, I believe, Chad Simpson last week. As Wetz pushing hard, trying to catch Kingsbury to transfer. Wetz has had a couple bad weeks along with Kingsbury this season. Wetz missed the final in Sonoma and both Daytona races, and he's sideways in the 23. In the Ford Fiesta, off the track goes Wetz, and put him into the tire barrier. And I don't think Wetz will be able to transfer out of the heat race today. Lambert back in the pit lane, so I believe he just parked the car, and Wetz is back on track here in the 23, but he's pulling it off. As you clip the dirt right there on the left side in turn number 4, and it spits you into the tires on the opposite side of the track. As Kingsbury missed 2 finals this season along with Kraus, as we take the white flag, Mertz pulling away 57.4 to a 57.6 for Kingsbury. And Livingood a 57.7, so he is on pace aside from running off there. Might have spoke too soon, but the 51 certainly showing pace today. But definitely a struggle all season. The only final he has made is the first Daytona race. So, not a good season for Dylan Livingood. As a rumor floating in the paddock is the 51 may hang up the helmet and just strictly go to race control following this event. We'll just have to see in the coming weeks what'll happen. Off the final corner, interestingly, Mertz was fastest in qualifying, and he wins the first heat race in Summit Point. Faster than Parisi, I might add. Kingsbury transfers. Livingood, Wetz, and Lambert to the LCQ. So this puts Connor Parisi in very unfamiliar territory. He was not first or second fastest in qualifying, not even third. He was 4th fastest in qualifying for the iRacing World Championship Rallycross driver. This is detrimental to his race, but we still have 6 laps. Simpson, Parisi, Kraus, and newcomer Andrew Massey in the heat race, getting ready in West Virginia. Off the line, the Beetles get a great jump. Parisi gets a better start over Simpson, and he's going to take the lead into turn 1. Simpson second, Kraus third, Massey, the Canadian, in fourth. Down to turn number 4 and into turn number 5, the Vuzian Racing Beetle of Connor Parisi leads us, followed by Chad Simpson and Philip Kraus. Remember, Parisi, last week's winner over Kraus. Both of them have win stickers here on their cars. And Simpson, one of the fast privateers in the NASA RallyCross Challenge, pushing hard to try and hold off the defending champion in car number 1. Andrew Massey, a newcomer from Canada. This is the first time we have seen him, but definitely the corner 5 racing effort, very quick as well. Off the final corner to end the first lap of heat number 2, it's going to be Connor Parisi leading us as the Joker lap is allowed, and we'll have to see the strategy as it unravels for this race. Into turn number 1, Parisi does not joker. Nobody jokers on the first opportunity here on lap number 2, and that's going to be interesting. I thought that one of these two would have taken the joker to release themselves from the other, but it's going to be a formation for the moment. I really think Kraus might have hindered himself here in car number 1. He's a little faster than Simpson, and he's clearly showing it. And that might have ruined his opportunity to get the heat race win. Remember, he is currently third in points behind his teammate Ann Mertz. Off the track is Massey in the 883. But a win and a second place, 2 fourths and 2 11ths for Philip Kraus. Better than Kingsbury, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 8th, 10th, and 6th for the American. Let's see who will joker. Parisi does. So the leader gets his strategy out of the way, and Kraus is still battling with car number 24. I don't know what his strategy is in car number 1. Clearly he's got a good strategy, otherwise he would not be the defending champion in this series. But it's certainly, from an outsider point of view, potentially hindering him in the heat race. Simpson runs it wide in the carousel. And into the left flick of 8 into 9. The best passing opportunity is turn 10, potentially, for Philip Kraus. If we're speaking on relative terms, turn 1 or turn 10. I've seen passes be done into turn 5 at this track. The Mazda MX-5 series, always a blast to watch here. Off the final corner to begin crossed flags. Philip Kraus still battling. He goes to the inside of Simpson. Will he outbrake him into turn number 1? He's going to make it happen. He runs it wide in car number 1, and he takes it to the joker also, but into the bank there is car number 1. So that is a huge development in the heat race, and that might hinder more his transfer spot opportunity. And that might even drop him behind Massey. We'll have to see. As Simpson leads Massey, Parisi, and Kraus, coming to 2 laps to go. And Massey in the 883, or 833, sorry, I stand corrected, 833. Currently running in the 4th position. Or 3rd position, sorry. But Simpson off the final corner will take 2 laps to go. I stand corrected on my running order again. Massey is 2nd. Parisi looks to the inside, gets back on the racing line. Will Simpson joker? He does in the 24. But very slow joker. Massey jokers as well. You saw Simpson essentially be stopped in the joker, but he still pips Kraus in car number 1. And now Kraus has to really push to get a transfer spot. Looks to the inside into turn number 5. Remember, passes have been done there, but it's certainly tricky. Into the carousel, 6 and 7. Getting very close. Parisi will cruise, it looks like. Still a lap to go, but he will cruise to the heat win because these guys are going to be frantically battling for the transfer spot. And Philip Kraus, 13-time race winner in the NASA RallyCross Challenge. Tied for 4th all-time on the wins list. He looked potentially to the inside, thought better of it into the final corner as Parisi takes the white flag here in Summit Point. To the inside goes Kraus on Chad Simpson into turn number 1. They're going to be outbraking the latest outbreaker. It's going to be Kraus who slides it wide. Simpson's going to take the spot back. They're going to be side by side through turn 3, and Kraus takes the spot. Now we'll have to see, will Simpson be able to fight back on Kraus, or will Kraus be able to cruise home and transfer to the final for the West Virginia Grand Prix? As Parisi clearly gone from these guys in car number 11, 57 flat to a 57.3. Still a little slower than qualifying times, obviously. But off of turn number 9, down to 10. Parisi comes off the final corner, and he will make it 2 heat wins in a row, winning heat number 2 here in Summit Point. And transferring with a steering issue was Kraus, nearly lost it. Simpson 3rd, Massey 4th. Kraus, the car veered to the inside, but he still transfers here in Summit Point. Now this LCQ has 2 former race winners from the old school days, along with newcomer Andrew Massey and Chad Simpson. Simpson in very unfamiliar territory in the 24. Quickly, in the last couple weeks, has become one of the favorites. 4 laps, and the top 2 will transfer. Simpson, Wetz, Massey, and Lambert. 3 Fords and a Volkswagen. Getting ready. I do believe Living Good is the last car on the grid in car number 51. As we're getting ready for him, he actually starts on pole position. So the 4-time champion will lead us getting ready for the LCQ here in West Virginia. Green flag. It looked like Simpson got a better bite off the start, but Living Good's going to hold this spot into turn number 1. His teammate Wetz looked to battle Simpson, couldn't get it done. Side by side is Massey and Lambert. Lambert looks like a transponder issue, and contact between the 2. And Lambert, returning from a long absence, immediately will finish 9th for the West Virginia Grand Prix, as it looks like he's parked the car. And poor Andrew Massey in his first start, struggling and gets taken out on the start. There was no penalty assessed to them, as it was decided that Lambert got on the gas a little bit too early, as I just heard in my headset. So no penalty for Massey, but it certainly takes him out of the transfer running. Into the final corner. And to end the first lap, it's going to be Dylan Livingood leading Chad Simpson and his teammate Chris Wetz. As the Joker strategy is going to unravel, Simpson goes to the inside, looked and thought about it. On Livingood to the Joker goes Wetz in car number 23. So remember, a very tricky Joker. Normally that'd be track limits, but the Joker had to be changed twice in practice due to such a tight entry and Joker path. So they're a little bit more relaxed on track limits here in Summit Point. Now, I don't know if Livingood's holding Chad Simpson up. This is going to be interesting because we know Livingood hasn't been on pace all season, and Simpson is one of the fastest guys here. And he doesn't want to fall into the clutches of Wetz or Massey, because you never know. Andrew Massey was spun on the start, but he might be able to take this fight. Simpson to the inside of Livingood into turn number 10, side by side. Beautiful racing here in NASA Rallycross, and off the final corner to start cross flags. Technically, Simpson, no, Livingood led at the line. Simpson has to Joker along with Livingood. Let's see who will do that. Livingood does it again. Still very rough Joker for car number 51. Livingood exits the Joker, gets pipped by his teammate Wetz, and Massey takes the Joker in front of the camera there. So now the strategy is going to come down to Chad Simpson in car number 24. To see what will happen. It's a 5-second difference in the Joker versus non-Joker. You have to have at least 5 seconds to be comfortable. We've seen that throughout the heat race and throughout practice when they would have their spotters tell them, yes, he's 5 seconds ahead. We're coming to the white flag for Simpson in car number 24. The Daddy Ray Racing Volkswagen Beetle. And let's see, he has to Joker now. So we'll have to see what this strategy will do, but we're going to pay attention as Wetz onto the grass and slides it in the 23. Simpson out and away. Looks like Living Good cut the track as well. I don't know what we're going to have to do. Wet slowed down. I think Living Good's going to have to do a slowdown penalty, and they crash each other on the start, or on the straight, rather. And Living Good and Wet's, the Revolution Racing teammates, have come together on the straightaway, and it takes Wet's out of the final. And Living Good plowed right into the back of his teammate, and that's going to be a penalty. He's going to have to assess a penalty box, or a penalty box will be assessed on him, and this will put Andrew Massey potentially through to the final in his first race after getting taken out in turn 1. Simpson comes off the final corner, and he will easily transfer through to the final here at Summit Point. Race control is telling Living Good to pull over and stop for a penalty box. That will put Andrew Massey through to his first final in NASA Rallycross in his first start. Living Good 7th, Wet's 8th. So the Revolution Racing teammates will not make it again. So let's see what happened here. Wet's cuts the track. Living Good cuts the track as well, and the simulation assesses them a slowdown penalty. Wet's does it. He clearly slows down. He's good and clear. Living Good stops in the middle of the track in front of his teammate and takes them both out. So I'm not sure what the 51 was thinking, but by slowing down in the middle of the racing line, compromised him and his teammates' races. Getting ready for the Summit Point Grand Prix. On pole will be Mertz in car number 2, points leader. Connor Parisi, Ray Kingsbury, Philip Kraus, Chad Simpson, Andrew Massey, 10 laps, Joker twice. This is going to be an amazing battle between the drivers in NASA Rallycross. Green flag off the line. The Volkswagen gets the better jump. Mertz blocks car number 11 down into turn number 1. Kraus battling Kingsbury. Parisi looked to the inside, couldn't get it done. Kingsbury got by Kraus. Fifth is Simpson, sorry. 6th Massey. Over turn 3, down to turn 4. Parisi trying to make a move on car number 2. Will he be able to do it into turn number 5? Mertz defends. This is going to be a stunning battle all race long between these guys. And you know, Kingsbury, Kraus, if something happens, they will try to take the fight to them through the carousel. 6 into 7 into 8. Car length lead over Parisi. Mertz has turn number 9. Parisi gets a great run off of turn number 9. Mertz is going to defend in car number 2, trying to prevent the 11 from getting by him. To the outside goes Parisi. Back onto the racing line goes Mertz. Remember, there's no rule about blocking in the NASA Rallycross Challenge, so Mertz is technically in free and clear. Parisi to the inside again to end the first lap. Mertz will lead him, Kingsbury, Kraus, Simpson, and Massey, who will take the Joker on the first lap of the race. This is going to be fascinating. Kingsbury will Joker and release himself. He got very close along with Simpson and Massey to Parisi. And now, the MRT boys sandwiching the Vuzian Racing car of Connor Parisi, the pro driver in the World Rallycross Series. These 3 winners of the NASA Rallycross Challenge, they have won 4 races out of the 6 that have run. Remember Marwan Moftah, the first 2 races of the season. Rumored that he may come back next week. We'll have to see when we race at Lucas Oil. Lap number 2. And this is going to be a lap time game like no other because Parisi and Mertz are the fastest cars here. Kraus, if something goes wrong, is just coattailing this. 4th Kingsbury, 5th Massey, or 5th Simpson, sorry, 6th Massey. Beginning lap number 3. Let's see who will Joker. Nobody does. And you know what makes this interesting is Parisi is holding the pin to the grenade in this situation. He can Joker whenever he wants because the MRT boys are going to react to him as he is faster. Mounting the curves is car number 2 along with car number 1. The Subarus really have to do that to get the car to rotate. Mertz pulls away slightly in the infield. Simpson 4th. Kingsbury 5th. Looks like he might have Joker. And Massey off the track in the 833. Back to the sharp end. This is going to be an amazing battle in the coming laps. Final corner to end the 3rd lap of the race. and come to 7 laps to go here in West Virginia. Mertz leads Parisi, Kraus, Simpson, Kingsbury, and Massey. Jokering is Parisi. And it looks like he had a little bit of wheel hop on the dirt going to the asphalt. This is going to release the MRT boys to race, but you know that they're going to have to joker to cover Parisi. Mertz is going to have to push extremely hard if he wants to hold this lead along with Kraus. 7 championships represented in these first 2 spots. And Parisi in car number 11 finally got that winner sticker after getting wrecked by Mertz on the start at Daytona. Remember, we still have no idea what happened. Mertz just veered into him. I don't know if it was a steering issue or not on car number 2, but it certainly ruined both of their races. We'll have to take a look at the lap time to see the delta. 56.6 was Parisi's last lap. 56.5 was Kraus's last lap. The MRT teammates will come to take lap number 5. 56.8, 56.7, and Parisi a 50... No, it's going to be 1 minute. 1 minute 2. Jokering is Mertz in car number 2. This gives his teammate the lead as the teammates did not follow the same strategy, whereas Mertz beats Parisi. Simpson jokers as well. His strategy's done. Mertz has beaten Parisi on the first joker rotation. I'm not sure what this is going to do in the head of Connor Parisi, but he's certainly not happy. As we're going to go on board Philip Kraus on the rear bumper of car number 1. Got a suspension camera on the rear to see how this car reacts. You can't even see Mertz and Parisi as we come to cross flags. Kraus expected potentially to joker, unless he's going to pull a wet and joker on the last 2 laps of the race. There's his teammate, there's Parisi. As beginning lap number 6, Kraus does not joker. The battle is between these guys. Parisi is hounding car number 2, potentially trying to make a mistake. Simpson 4th, Kingsbury 5th, Massey still 6th. Running order has not changed in the back of the field. Those guys running their own races. Kraus has the delta potentially to take his first joker, but these guys haven't taken their second joker. That's 102.3 to a 56.5. It's about 5 seconds is the delta for the joker. And what makes these cars so fascinating is they run very well, obviously on dirt, but the pavement races that we've seen the last 3 weeks are something else. Kraus leads beginning lap number 7. Parisi still hounding the back of car number 2. Kraus did not joker. Let's see if Parisi will joker in the 11. He does not, so we'll probably see him joker on the next lap, unless he really wants to throw Mertz off and joker on the last lap of the race. Now, that would be interesting, but you have to expect if Parisi was going to try and play that card, Mertz would cover him off, because Mertz would not joker. So that's the last thing, actually, Parisi wants to do, is joker on the last lap, because that ruins any clear track strategy, because that's the huge thing about Rallycross, is that's why the joker is so big. Not saying it's difficult to pass, because we've seen passing throughout the regular course, but the strategy of getting clean air, getting the lap done, it's just like the in-laps and out-laps in Formula 1. That is how it's done. Kraus takes 3 laps to go in the Subaru. And remember, he does have to joker, so we'll see car number 1, not this lap. He's going to wait until the last 2 laps. Parisi jokers in car number 11. His second joker will be done. And this is going to be fascinating to see how the joker will unravel. These two have been battling each other all race long, and I don't know, but I think Kraus might have the delta over both of them, as he's had this clear track since they jokered early to run the lap time and get everything out of the way. But like I was mentioning, the joker lap's a lot like the in and the out lap in Formula 1. When you have to pit, you pit early, you get fresh tires, you're faster than the guy you're racing, you pip him in the pit stop. That's the same concept, and the joker is the pit stop in this instance. 2 laps to go for Kraus in car number 1. Can he pip these two to potentially take the victory? We'll have to see. Parisi's strategy is done. We're going to see Kraus Joker in car number 1. Will we see Mertz Joker in car number 2? The Subarus follow each other into the Joker. There's Parisi in car number 11. Where is Mertz in this situation? Exiting the Joker. Mertz pips Parisi. Nearly contact between them. Parisi got very close in car number 11 to car number 2. And that is a huge development as Mertz has been able to hold off Parisi all day. And it's extremely frustrating for the Vuzian Racing Pro driver to see car number 2 in front of him after 9 laps. Now, the real strategy here is Parisi is going to be trying to pass car number 2, but can Philip Kraus beat them both out of his second Joker? Running order in the back has not changed. It's been Simpson, Kingsbury, Massey all race long. This is what we're going to be looking at. Mertz defending on the inside line on car number 11. Kraus takes the white flag here at Summit Point. Mertz is going to defend on car number 11. He looked to the inside, did Parisi, on Mertz. Mertz defends. Kraus in the Joker in car number 1. He exits the Joker. He comes out ahead of Mertz and Parisi. They make contact. Parisi got into Mertz, made him sideways, but that doesn't matter. Philip Kraus is ahead of these guys into turn number 4 on the last lap of the race. Car number 1 is leading car number 2 and 11. He locks it up in turn 5, and he throws it away. Mertz to the inside of Kraus. Kraus is going to be battling Parisi. What a last lap in West Virginia. Contact between them. Kraus shoves Parisi out wide, and it's a 1-2 for MRT. Parisi bumps Kraus. Contact between them again. They're roughing each other up. Into turn number 9. Down the back straightaway. Kraus is going to defend on Parisi. To the inside goes Parisi on Kraus. Kraus defends. Into the final corner. What a race in West Virginia. Mertz is going to come down to win number 38. And MRT once again 1-2 in NASA Rallycross. Parisi comes home 3rd. Simpson 4th. 5th will be Kingsbury. 6th, Massey. And what a race here in West Virginia as win number 38 for Mertz and the 3rd this season. This gives him the biggest points lead we have seen in NASA Rallycross since Mofta has been dispatched out of 2nd. 20 points, a full race distance, is his points lead over his teammate. I'm not sure how Philip Kraus did that, but he blew it all away when he locked it up in turn number 5. Let's actually go back. Let's take another look at that. So we know the Joker talk was Kraus released himself to be able to take the fight to everybody else. So he Jokers from high above. He takes to the Joker, pips his teammate. Mertz defends on Parisi. And if we pay attention, we're going to have to see what happened to Kraus in car number 1. And it looked like he locked up in car number 1 and threw it off the road. And that's all she wrote for the 2 to take the lead. And then he bumped Parisi out of the way, and Kraus stole 2nd spot. What a race at Summit Point. What a result for MRT as they clearly extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship. Mertz has a 20-point lead over his teammate. But the good news for you guys is we go back to a traditional Rallycross race in 1 week's time at the Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis. We saw in 2017B how Philip Kraus won that race over wets when Valley and Mertz made contact, but that should be an incredible battle next week in Indianapolis. Texas and Iowa after that to wrap up this 2018B season. But we hope you enjoyed today's coverage here on the Automotive Sports Network of the Summit Point Grand Prix. We hope to see you next week in Indianapolis. But until then, so long, everyone.